Yeah, so we're covering One Punch Man season 3, and this might have been the toughest task that I've ever had in my entire life. After what happened in season 2 and kind of the downgrade in animation that we got in that season, we were hoping that possibly season 3 would, bring it back to form, and it didn't. It actually got worse. I think it got so bad that they didn't even release a trailer or even give us information about the show until like a month before it came out. So that's when we all knew that this season was going to be bad, because when that trailer came out, dear Lord, everyone saw that coming. But enough of the app. Let's just hop right into it. Yeah, I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off. They have committed a terror, and we have waited years for this season, and they gave us terrorist levels of bad animation. It's actually crazy to see the fall off in real time. Like, there's no depth to it. Like in the meeting, it just stays there on this angle without showing who is talking while they're talking about Garo. The higher-ups have come to this conclusion that this YN is too dangerous, so they grade him dragon level, but then they want Blast to help out too, but he's just nowhere to be found. And bro, at this point, I have seen nothing from this man yet. He's like folklore to me the way that they talk about him. I need to see something from him, bro. This guy starts squealing about his son, and just hear me out. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have forgotten about what happened in season 2. It's just been that long. I'm guessing his son got taken away. I don't know. I should probably figure that out, but I just don't care enough. We see some of the S-ranked heroes being told about the situation and what's going on by this guy called Sakingar. He's the leader of this rescue operation that's about to go down, and I can't for the life of me take this guy seriously. I forgot that this guy is just big and black. He just looks like the health inspector from Boondocks. And I'm just not going to acknowledge that you exist. Now, there is one thing that I'm going to acknowledge. There is one thing that I noticed in this scene, let alone the whole season, that is my arch nemesis when it comes to bad production for anime: colored frames. The fact that I have to witness this yet again after the atrocity from frame lock is disgusting. It's like it's trying to trick you into thinking it looks good with colors and shading, and it just doesn't do that. My brother, it's awful. It's garbage. Now, yes, the still frames look good, but I would hope so because there's no animation to be found, so I would hope the still frames looks good, because that would be a problem too. And they just do this non-stop this season. Black Alloy tells Atomic Samurai what's going on, and Samurai even says he kind of knows where that monster's hideout is, and it's in the one place where literally nobody resides, because last season Saitama just decided to have a small level extinction event go on. Amai Mas then shows up, and he starts yapping about how everybody else is weak and just starts talking crazy, right? So crazy, in fact, that he says, hey, if anybody gets captured, they should kill themselves now. I know for a fact that he would have been crazy in NW2 lobbies back in the day. And I just know he says it too, bro. Like, he's just looking at Black Alloy, just waiting for him to mess up. We are also seeing Pretty Prisoner get clearance to leave prison and to go help with the monsters, because his reasoning is a bit different from everybody else's, sort of. He's doing all this because he has like this booty meat harem in jail, and they got taken by monsters. And he is currently serving a 10,000 year sentence. And that's another thing also. We be giving out crazy sentences to people. Like, we be dead ass like, you know what? 25 to life. You know what, let's add another one to that. 25 to life sentencing. We cut the Child Emperor, and he has been working to find the hideout, and he also knows that Metal Knight has been listening and asked for help. Metal Knight is like, nah gang, they way too strong, and this kid is done for, and I'm not risking my life or anyone else's for that matter of fact. Just say you're a loser, bro, because you're up there with Blast in terms of just like, what do you do? Because anytime that it's time for you to save people and to do your job, you never show up, you disappear. Like, how? But we see this nincompoop, and instead of just waiting, he's gonna send out this PNG squad with suits, and they fail terribly. Like, they instantly get captured. With everything going on right now, Blizzard kind of catches on to what's going on and is gonna try to ask Saitama for help, but she is utterly distraught at the sight of everyone just in this small room vibing. She's really trying to get them to help, but Genos needs his 1000th repair, and King is scary, so he just makes an excuse, and these two are old. Why is he caked up on the floor? So it's just Blizzard and Saitama's leaving because his reasoning is that he took disrespect from Garo not hunting him. And speaking of the man himself, he wakes up and he is still trying to recover from the attempted belt to ass he was receiving last season. Though Garo needs to get up out of there because he hasn't eaten in like 30 days. Oh man, brother, even him walking looks bad. And why is he built like this? And I didn't even notice his head slides in this scene until I started making the script and I was reviewing the footage. Like, it's just sliding back and forth. Garo sees all the monsters gathered around, around and he sees them gathered around the PNG squad that obviously got captured, and the monster princess is ready to give out Kunto Kinte lashings. Garo shows himself and everyone's like, what? No way, there's a human here? Giro is happy to see that Garo is up because now he has a little proposition for him. Giro offers Garo a leader role if he can bring back a hero's head, and you know, Garo is gonna go ahead and do that, but Giro is gonna send some spies to make sure Garo goes through with it. So yeah, we see Garo walk out in the open as if he's not the most wanted man right now in the world, and we get to see 2 scenes with crazy action. It's like they take a panel from the manga and instead of just coming up with ways to get to a certain panel with motion, they just cut with some bad editing and just use the anime speed lines, and then they called it a day. Garo gets something to eat and now he is ready to go get some hero's head, and I'm just realizing what I just said and I'm keeping that. Garo sees the kid that he protected last season getting bullied, and I don't care, keep bullying the kid because he's only a stepping stone to the greatest scene in the entire series, the Garo slide. I could not escape this singular clip when this episode released. It was all over the place, and that's when I knew that I had to put off making this video because I could not handle just this clip alone. Garo just stands over Tadeo, and Tadeo says sorry about leaving back in season 2, and he knows that he was just only trying to protect him, and he knows that at the end of the day, Garo, you're a good guy and I bet you're a champion of justice. Oh yeah, I forgot. Saitama finds Garo because Garo like ran out of the restaurant without paying, and so Saitama chased him, but he's just gonna let him off for no reason. And I don't think he recognizes that that's actually Garo that he's been looking for. And Garo takes offense to that, and it's because he's bald and he's a CT hero. You know, he tries to fight him and he gets washed for like the 3rd time in the series. In this episode, they do something really weird where they have a title card transition that they just never use again. Mind you, One Punch Man has never had one. So the decision to make a title card to then use it in this moment and to then never use it again is like really weird. And there's just more stuff like that down the line that just baffles me that this season was greenlit to be released to the public. Garo wakes up and he remembers nothing, and they like to use the neuralizer on Garo anytime he interacts with Saitama. The monsters pop out and they only have one thing on their mind, and that is just to run the hands with Garo because they just think that he can't be a big bad pooky monster. The kid starts screaming in agony and despair, and it's because he recognizes one of them from his book. His name is King the Ripper. He's really scary. The Ripper tries going after Takadeo, but Garo stops him, and I will give credit where credit is due. The sequence was kind of good. Now, am I comparing that to what we're gonna see later on? Yes, because the bar is not that high. By the way, we see Zombie Man try to look for a group of people, and he actually does end up finding them, and it's just the House of Evolution that was destroyed way back in season 1 by Saitama. Zombie Man was created by them, and he wants good old revenge. But before he can enact his revenge, this guy, you know, starts talking. He starts talking about the limiter and how Saitama broke past it, and because of that it made him so strong but also lonely at the same time, and blah blah blah. Let's just get back to the fight. Wait, Jarvis, go back. I think my eyes deceived me. Zoom in by 30%. Zoom in by another 50%. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There is no way they animated this man with the same size biddies as female One Piece characters. I refuse to believe that, because that means that they drew this. They drew the shapes, they drew the nipples, and they even looked at it and was like, that's a go. Because because if at least you told me that y'all spent only 5 minutes, no, there's no excuse for this, because there's no way you looked at it and thought this was cool. No, my brain can't comprehend this. No, please. It's episode 3 and I can't get mad. I can't. I will lose my mind. Takadeo gets captured and it distracts Garo enough for him to get shanked up like he's in the UK, and so he basically dies. The 2 guys, or monsters, they go back and they tell Giro like, hey, that boy Garo wasn't really down for that. He wasn't really ready to slime out a child like I would. You know, my favorite character is Anakin Skywalker, so you know, I would have done that job very easily. Giro knows that they're full of cap, but he doesn't really care because the heroes are about to show up soon. They throw Takadeo in the same cell as Waganma, the guy's son, and man, we got some ugly kids. Garo survived somehow, and he's lost as to why that is. He doesn't understand it either, but you know, he doesn't know the Monster Association did something to him, probably. I know not in the slightest, but more than likely that is the case. We see Child Emperor talking to Sakingar, and Child Emperor has a bit of a concern of the possibility of a traitor, and his suspicion falls on Geno solely because he lives close to the hideout of the Monster Association. Also because he's new. It makes no sense. They also excommunicated Silverfang too because they think that he let Garo go. Not like he cares anyway because he's too busy grabbing stuff out of thin air. Yeah, I skipped over that whole hot pot scene. I couldn't be ass covering any of that. There's just no way you're catching me. We see King walk back after throwing out some trash for Saitama, but you know, there seems to be people outside of his house waiting for him. And apparently they've actually been looking for him. And they've actually come to the conclusion that this man has been out here on his own in Zone Z in this desolate area. They're amazed by it, and they end up dragging him against his will back to headquarters. Back at headquarters, the heroes finally assemble and then start to plan the raid on the Monster Association. But now the Ripper is back for Tadeo, and the Ripper says to this child that he is obsessed with him. Go to your nearest park and say that and send me a postcard on how that goes. As Tadeo screams, Garo does his best Kool-Aid Man impression and then swiftly slimes out the Ripper and takes off his head. After saving Tadeo, they're gonna try to find their way out of here, and bro, he just keeps crying and whining. Bro, just shut up before a giant monster dog shows up. This is that dog that my neighbors be calling Precious and saying he doesn't bite. Yeah, instead of biting, it just uses a Biju bomb. Garo knows this dog's threat level is a dragon, so he looks at Tadeo and he's like, alright, little bro, it's time for you to leave because I am not trying to be a father figure. Now, did he say that? No, but I feel like that's what he thought. Now, we gotta watch as Garo fights the dog and all his damage gets negated after quick little combos. The dog just uses Biju bombs and they try to recreate the death scene and they fail fantastically. Garo thinks he's dead, but again, he survived and he's still gonna aura farm regardless of the situation. Garo flies in for an attack and oh god, this impact is horrible. No wonder why that attack didn't work. Garo gets flung around and falls to the lower levels right in front of Giro, and Giro's happy to see him that he's still alive, you know, and then he freezes Garo in place, you know, so that they can talk. Giro, he just wants to train Garo so that he can become a monster. He thinks that Garo can become as strong as King Orochi, and I don't think I mentioned King Orochi up until this point. If Garo survives death enough, he can become a monster and he can actually become stronger as well. But he breaks free. And in one of the most iconic panels of the series, this is what we get. I don't know why his arm is this long at all. I just don't know. And again, the colored panels. You know what? I can't keep complaining about the colored panels because at least they gave my nephew a shot at making this stuff. And my nephew did an excellent job. Orochi third parties Garo, grabbing him with his right hand. No, his left hand. Bro, they can't even keep the continuity together, bro. Like, are you telling me you can't even animate the same hand in a still frame? Bro, I can't, bro. If I keep doing this, dog, if I continue on with this video, I might not survive. After a bit more shenanigans, we finally see a bit more of good sequences, and you know, it's something, I guess. And you know, Garo is gonna try to go after the vital points of Orochi, but Orochi can transform into this eldritch war god. And to be honest with you, Garo, like, no matter how many times you want to sit here and say that a monster lacks fear and that aura, and even when you do get stanced up, you're fighting against an eldritch war god that proceeds to copy all of your techniques, and you got diffed. The heroes meeting's going on and they're scheming on what to do with this situation, and this punk of my mask shows up and he wants to be a part of the conversation so bad. He's complaining about why he's not in the meeting. He also finds out that he's not even in the attack group but in the support group. The excuse they used was his leadership could be put to better use, and my rebuttals with, well, yeah, they ain't gonna cut it. How about, you know, I get you an offer real quick, and my offer is that, hey, how about I lead y'all to glory by me being the leader of this operation? Before anything happens, King walks in. Man, I love this walk. It's so goofy. Everyone was wondering where he was, and the guys in the suits were like, bro, he was out there by himself like the last objective in Halo Reach. Amaya is so impressed by all of that he actually backs down. And while we're here, we might as well talk about the support group, I guess. Not really, I'm only doing it for one person. I'm only talking about the support team solely because they have Captain Mizuki. Like, just look at her. Like, she is the only reason why I'm even talking about this. Otherwise, I would have skipped this whole section. Do I like mommy figures? And she's not just like a mommy figure though. She's like a muscle mommy. Wait, let me stop. Bang shows up trying to get a new phone, but he's also trying to get information about Garo. We know Sitch won't tell him because they think that he let him go. And that's stupid because y'all weren't there. Y'all didn't see how he was putting paws on this man. Like, look at this. Only reason he escaped was because the plot demanded him to. So are you sure you don't need him on the team? Because even Bang says himself that he didn't even hold back. With a bit of luck, King runs into them and tells them the whole operation, because of course he doesn't really want to do any of this. So he just wants a bit of help from everybody else, and you know, obviously Saitama. We see the heroes hyped and ready to go, and we cut back to see Saitama's group also ready to head out too. But Genos is gonna stay back and wait for Saitama, but they don't know that he's already out there in the sewers and shit. Now that we're halfway done with the season, I want to talk a little bit about how bad the production production is, because I know I've been talking about how bad the animation is and just the whole production overall. So it got me thinking, how bad was it actually? It's pretty bad. There was 6 years between season 2 and season 3, but they didn't announce it until 2022. Okay, 3 years, more than enough time to give us something good. Pre-production didn't start till the beginning of last year. But for the people that don't know how anime production works, it works like this. A company has to buy the right/license to the anime it's trying to make. Now, they are also responsible for budgeting and funding. They are also responsible for the choosing of the studio and scheduling. And we know who the culprit is. It's Bandi, these criminals, these scam artists, because they are the same people that made Frame Lock. Hey, where are you going? Because you're not, no. You think you're gonna escape this too. Bandi chose JC staff because they probably knew other studios wasn't going to work with them because of the bad scheduling that they ended up having anyway. So they just decided, you know what, let's just go with JC staff, because they are a company that just makes anime. They don't care what it is, they will just make it, because that is their business model. That is how they make money. So when you have two greedy companies that come together like this and hit a fusion dance, this is ultimately what you're going to get. And they know what they're doing. They don't care either, because they know for a fact when they have a big IP like Blue Lock and One Punch Man, people will watch it anyway. So hey, I guess I'm done. Let's continue. The heroes showed up to the zone. They're fighting. I don't really care. Where is Captain Mizuki? I want to see her in action. They ruined my most anticipated scene. And I knew. I don't know why I'm even surprised. I was just praying to the lords that somehow, some way, she was blessed with good animation for this moment at least. None of this matters. Nothing matters. At this point, the S-ranked heroes are already down in the catacombs. And so we're following one of them, and that's Flashy Flash. Now, Flashy Flash has been ran up on by these two ninjas. Now, they want revenge because of some incident back at a village or something. I don't know. I think that gets explained in like a future arc in the One Punch Man manga. And if I'm being honest with you, this fight isn't that bad. Like, it has a lot of Megami in it. And what I mean by that is like, there's so many moments of like, I guess, good ideas for animation. It's like they sat up in their chair and was like, you know what, let's just start trying just a little bit. And that's what it felt like the entire time. But then you would just have moments of just like weird cuts and obviously the good old still frames. But there were some moments that I actually was kind of like, all right, I see it. Like, there was one moment at the end of the fight where when they just started turning into monsters and started jumping Flashy Flash, and then out of nowhere, like the music started getting serious, and then Flashy Flash actually had like a bit of good animation, and it was kind of cool. And then it kind of just went to him like kicking in still frames and stuff. But overall, like, it wasn't bad. I mean, no, it still was, but like obviously in comparison to what we have, you know, let me not forget, there's also so much dimming in this fight specifically that like it blinds me, and not in the way that you think. It blinds me because the animation is so bad that I can't even really see what's going on. And so when you add the dimming on top of it, it's like they're hiding stuff that I can't see, that I already know that I can't see of, but I see what they're trying to do of me not being able to see. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, Flashy Flash beats them pretty easily, and a lot of the part 1 fights are fodder fights, but they're meant to be like cool fodder fights to kind of showcase how cool the heroes are and all that stuff. We cut back to Child Emperor, and he finds Knight in pieces, and he's petrified by the endless possibilities of what King Orochi can do because of how, you know, strong he is. And I don't know, bro, this Knight guy, he's just something strange to me, bro. I don't trust him. Child Emperor is about to leave, but then Big Bird shows up, and now he's basically giving the rundown of his plan and his origin, and he's a man that got stuck in a bird costume. He tries to attack Child Emperor and gets taken down pretty easily. He finds the kid, mission accomplished. Well, partially. They got to get out of here first. Instead of just creating a new way back up to the surface, they go back to where the dead bird is. And so the kid recognizes the bird from like a theme park or something and says something really important. And he's like, oh, that bird right there? Oh yeah, that's like a phoenix for real. Like, I saw him in like the amusement park that I went to. And so Child Emperor like peeps that, and he's like, what does the phoenix do exactly? Well, a phoenix does exactly what a phoenix does. It resurrects. Big Bird revives himself, and the first thing he does is he throws a big attack. I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird. I'm sorry, my bad. It's just been stuck in my head. Sorry. Big Bird is boasting because he kicked a child's chest in, and said child is crying, but it's not because you think that his spleen is in his balls. It's actually because he's about to give him this belt. Child Emperor calls in a mech suit that he can only use for 2 minutes. Now look, I would have used the mech suit and had just picked up the kid and had just left. They're fighting, they're flying around, they're throwing lasers at each other, and Big Bird knows that Child Emperor can't keep this up, so he's gonna try to bait out his his ultimate move. Child Emperor ends up big braining it and ends up trapping Big Bird in like this electrical cage. And so he comes in with like a crazy punch, and like they both crash through the ground and stuff. And so while they're crashing through the ground and falling, Child Emperor is like looking at his scanner and seeing like one of the transmitters that's falling through the ground as well. It's Flashy Flash's transmitter, and he thinks that it's him coming down to help him, but it's not. So he's kind of cooked right now, because now the Phoenix ends up evolving. And so when he evolves, he's able to summon zombies. Like, what? Big Bird takes advantage of this and takes Waganma, but Child Emperor's backup bots show up. They get destroyed, but Child Emperor is really smart. He uses the pieces of the broken bots to create a new arm for him to use his ultimate move on Big Bird, for which it works to some extent. He survives it, and so he rips the kid out of the suit and he walks up to him, and so he maniacally starts laughing out of nowhere, and that's because Child Emperor just used a tickle bot on him for him to laugh to death. So now Child Emperor walks up to him and starts looting him up. Oh yeah, those two ninja guys were also down here too after getting cut in half by Flash, and they end up running into Saitama, and Saitama kind of just makes them run away after like giving them like a death stare. So I had a whole rant about how lazy JC's staff and Bandai were when they were making this season, because I thought they were cutting things out for no reason, but I found out in the manga they actually had retcons. The fight here was completely different from what I was reading and watching, and usually you don't really see that in manga where like they actually retcon some things. They'll just contradict it later on, but they don't actually change it. So the fight between Child Emperor and Big Bird was meant to feel like a final boss fight, I guess, but what I'm seeing right now is not whatever y'all claim. So all this means is that there's different continuities in the anime and manga, and I have some thoughts on the retcon thing, but I'll elaborate more on that later. One thing that made me realize that I can't let my anger take over and let emotions get the best of me when watching this. Man, forget that. I'm not happy watching this. I could be making my Life is Strange vid, but I'm here wasting my time, man. Zombie Man versus another fodder character. Look at this though. Oh my god, he's so cool. I can't wait to talk about this. Wait, what is that behind you? Wait, look over there. Atomic Samurai students are fighting with Monster Princess in a fierce battle. Monster Princess throws her whip, but it gets stopped by a My Mask, and he's like, your power is hypnosis base. I know this because I'm better than y'all, and I'm in a higher tax bracket. He tells the students to leave. He knows a way to beat Monster Princess, and it's murdering everybody. She's begging, pleading. Mask is an alpha male. He's looks maxing the good way, if there even is a good way. She gets off screened, and this whole scene was a retcon. So in the new canon, I guess, Samurai students came back and saved the PNG squad. They also know that there's something up with Mask, and when fighting with Monster Princess, Mask gets hit in the eye or something and kind of alludes that Mask is a monster. I don't know why Murata changed a lot of this. I know a lot of people prefer this version instead of the new one. So if y'all know, let me know why, because I just couldn't find like an actual reason as to why he did all this. Hey, it's Tadeo being chased by this thing. Samurai protects the kid, and he's gonna fight Black Sperm. Yes, that is the monster's name. Child Emperor is back to the surface with Waganma and lets everyone know, but then Samurai hops in Discord call, and the most nonchalant way, he lets them know that he's found a kid. Wrong kid, but a kid nonetheless. Child Emperor is a little confused by the situation, so he looks at Waganma and is like, hey, was there another kid in the cell with you, Waganma? Waganma admits that he may have lied, that there wasn't anybody else in the cell with him. I may have also forgotten to mention that he lied about there not being anybody else with him. We cut to Samurai getting busy with Black Sperm. Man, that is so insane. Oh my god, what am I saying? Black Sperm is like, just like my name says, there's 50 million of me. The more you cut me, the more I multiply. And so Samurai just decides, you know what, I'm just gonna collapse the entire place. Zombie Man is confused as to the commotion going on, and then someone from the Sneaky Nation appears, and surprisingly, the animation is decent here, to be fair. Now Zombie Man is burning alive. He knows this homeless guy is working with something different because he's not just a regular monster. So he chose the dialogue option, asking how his powers works. Homeless Emperor, tough name, goes on about his backstory. Then an entity appears before him called God to grant him power. To be honest, it's not looking good for Zombie Man. He thought he was going to tell his story at One Piece pacing. A lot of things are going on without a lot of things going on, so I think it's about time we finish this video, so let's get to the good stuff. Saitama is interacting with Pochi, and Pochi doesn't really like Saitama, so Saitama was like, you know what, it's Michael Vick time. So Tornado finds Giro Giro, and he's actually happy about this because he believes that this is the matchup that he wanted. And the first move that he makes is to encase her in some rocks. Serious? I don't understand why in anime, when people face off off against powerful characters, y'all pull out good old reliable. Like, bro, it's never worked out. Obviously, she's gonna break out. Obviously, she breaks out and now she's posing. Gido says he's not holding back anymore. So scary. He gets turned into mincemeat and he takes a page out of Sukuna's playbook and calls Orochi. He never shows up, and that's because he's dealing with something worse. Bandi. No, it's Saitama. King Orochi knows that this man is different and it's getting him excited. He starts talking about him being a god and sacrificing stuff and stuff that Saitama and all of us have heard before. Saitama's looking at him like, hey bro, I know you want to be a god and you want to be doing all this. I don't really care because I'm still gonna beat you in one punch. And thank God that this trash of a season is almost over. Wait, what is that melody? No, don't you dare!
And I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
No. You think you can just play that song with good animation and think I would come back crawling and act like you didn't just abuse me in my eyes? Cause you're right, it was worth it. This season was everything I could have wanted. Oh my God, they are also threatening us with a part 2. Hey, that's not on the script. That's not on the script. Oh gosh, I was only joking. I was only playing. Like, you don't have to do this, John. Teach him a lesson. Wait, what?
Don't mind if
John,
I do.
No, you stay away. John, why did you unzip your pants?
I've been waiting for you,
No,
boy.
John,
And the
stay away.
luxury
No,
for you.
go away.
You gonna
Go away.
now.